Well, a hearty shalom to you, Jeffrey Seif here, with a question I want to pose to you. And the question is this: are Jews adorable or are Jews deplorable? I'm raising the question because in this week's Torah reading, there's some deplorable stuff going on. And it starts off good enough, and it kind of degenerates. And it's going to degenerate from chapter 11 through the rest of the book of Numbers, if not the Bible on the whole. God saves a people out of Egypt, and in the 10th chapter, we see that God is going to be guided in the 9th chapter with a cloud to lead them on into the future. And subsequent to that, they take off for the journey to Canaan from Mount Sinai in chapter 10, and then it all goes bad. It is just a big train wreck. In the 11th chapter in this week's Torah reading, the people are mumbling, they're complaining, it's a mess. God summarily executes judgments on their murmuring. In chapter 12 then, it's not just a question of the people in general murmuring and giving Moses a hard time, but his own family gets into the act. His sister drags Aaron into some chagrin that she has with her sister-in-law. Can't stand her, we're told in chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. It's just a mess. Just a mess. So I ask you, are Jews adorable or are deplorable in the Bible, that is? Well, in modernity, I remember once upon a time I was just a garden variety, drifty Jewish guy wandering around in life and wasn't really going anywhere, and I was going nowhere fast. I had accepted Yeshua, accepted Jesus, and my life turned around, got involved in church, and I learned then that I was special. I was of the chosen people. And in no time, because I am of Jewish extract, people were assuming that I had special insights into the Hebrew Scripture, a better read on the Bible, better understanding of theology, special insights into the end of the world, and so forth. And I enjoyed a little celebrity status. And why is that? Well, because I'm of the chosen people. People construe Jews as just adorable. Listen, I appreciate the attention, and I can use any accolades I could get. Even if they were undeserved, they felt real good. The point is when you read the Hebrew Bible, you don't see that. When you look at God's leading the Hebrews out of Egypt, it's just as though all my brethren died in the wilderness because of their faithlessness. Then a new generation under Joshua is going to go into Canaan, and after Joshua dies, they're going to backslide for 330 some years. After that, God is going to raise up kings with the United Kingdom. That'll be short-lived, and then civil war will grip, and the northern kingdom will be destroyed, and eventually the southern kingdom. And if you look in the Hebrew Bible, for all we find in today's reading that God is leading Hebrews to the promised land, he is a cloud that is leading them in chapter 9, verse 15 onward into the future. There's God providentially is leading them into Canaan. He's going to providentially lead them out. Enough already. He's sick of this. So I ask you, what say ye? Are Jews deplorable or are Jews adorable? At one level, I vote that when I look at the Hebrew Bible, the Hebrew people oftentimes act deplorable. Of course, to take that tack, it sounds like I'm prejudiced against Jews, and there's so much casting aspersions on Jews because our religion is construed as bombastic by many. Our bid for existence in the national homeland is deemed anachronistic, that Jews have no basis from a religious perspective, say some, to claim residency in the land. There's so much going against Jews. People just don't like Jews. Jews are like a turtle, and the world's forever trying to pull us out of our shell. We love you, turtle. Just be a lizard like us. But Jews are encased in Judaism, and Jews are encased in a national aspiration for the homeland. Oh, we love you people. Let's just get rid of that shell. Let's get rid of that casing and then become a lizard like us. Then we'll like you if we can destroy you. It's like that in so many ways. And given that being the case, even to raise the question, are Jews adorable or deplorable? It sounds like I'm setting Jews up to take a shot. And God knows we get enough of them. So you might say, Jeffrey, listen, we don't need to listen to you to criticize Jews. We can just turn on the news, CNN, or we can just go to many churches and hear them beat up on Jews. Why do we have to turn why do we have to turn you on? Well, I'm just wanting to look squarely at the literature and raise the question, are Jews deplorable or are Jews adorable? And I want to raise the question really only because I thought it's catchy. I don't really intend to answer it. I don't think the Bible is about Jews being adorable or Jews being deplorable. When I look at the Bible, there is something deplorable at play. You haven't read 5 minutes into the Bible till you realize that something is really bad. I mean, God made Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve, and the whole thing screwed up. They're kicked out of Eden, and God's trying to rectify the situation. He's trying to retool it. I mean, that's what the whole Bible is. So when I look at mess up, when I look at poor performance in the Bible, it's not about Jews. The issue here isn't Jewish nature. The issue is human nature, that humans have a problem. Are Jews deplorable? I mention that rhetorically, in part because the term deplorable or the deplorables is something that's kicked around in modern political discourse. At least it was recently, with Hillary Clinton using the term deplorable, and then Donald Trump picking it up and using it as a moniker to rally his base of common folk, the deplorables. It's kind of got kicked around, so I thought I'd use it. But not only did I use the word deplorable here, I used the word adorable. Now, where does the word adorable come from? In as much as deplorable invokes a kind of ire and chagrin and shame, adorable harks to admiration and charm, something just adorable. The term adorable, well, we might think, oh, the baby is adorable, or your wife is adorable, or that card was adorable. The word adorable was used in a religious sense to adore, adoration, that God was a judge to be, is a judge to be worthy of our adoration. It means a lot of admiration. Are Jews adorable or deplorable, I ask, but I don't really intend to answer it. I think God's very adorable, and I think the point in the literature, when you look at human foibles and Jewish foibles, the thing that's magnificent, when you look in the 11th chapter, and that's principally where I'm staring, and it's the beginning of a sequence of backslidings that result in the whole journey just spiraling out of control. We'll see that in the next Torah reading. They just botch it entirely. God is anger. He waxes hot against them. Moses is so depressed, he says he wants to kill himself. I'm not qualified to diagnose Moses' mental health here, but the point is people are just really fed up. God is, and Moses is. But it's noted in the literature, though God can get fed up on occasion, he doesn't give up on the occasion, and hence this isn't so much about whether Jews are adorable or deplorable. Certainly when I look in the Bible, God is adorable. That is, he's worthy of our adoration, of our admiration, because he just doesn't give up. God works with wayward humanity. He works with Jews. Yes, Jews botched it up in the Older Testament, and people botch it up ever since the Garden of Eden, Christian people included. The grace of God is so amply attested in the literature, however, that God patiently bears up with the Hebrew people. And you know what? That lets me know that God will patiently bear up with people like me and like you. Jeffrey Seif here. I want to let you know that the grace of God is real good, and I hope it disseminates to you and you have some sense of it. Go ahead and read this week's Torah portion, and you'll see it for yourself. Well, it looks a little ugly, but you'll see that God doesn't give up on his people. Moses petitions, and God stays his hand of judgment. And that's good news, not just for Jews. That's good news for yous. God bless. See you next week.